Hello everybody! Hello, hi! Nice to see you. I'm back. I'm Lucifera, and it was a long time since we saw each other face to face. So I've received a request to make a video about vinegar jars and witches bottles. Not exactly how to make them, but how long to keep them in your home, and also where to store them. So I see this candle is not properly set like this. So I will begin by telling you a little bit about witch's bottle. Here you see this witch's bottle. It looks like this, and there's salt inside, and a photo of a person who needs protection. For example, if it is me who needs protection, I may use my photo, or I may use my blood or my hair, and then there are certain ingredients. So this witch's bottle is a lifelong protection, and I can tell you that I would never become the person I am today if not I had a hard life and lots of troublemakers in my life. And I have made many witches bottles for myself for protection. I have about maybe 50 such bottles, and as you make bottle after bottle, your protection will become very high, and as soon as somebody curses you, you will know exactly the next day what's going on, and then you can do the reversal. So the witch's bottle, they provide protection against curses and also against bullying at work. If you are treated in a bad way at work, I suggest to make a witch's bottle, and the bullies will stop. They will treat you well. You can also use seals, different seals of demons. For example, if you need protection from curses, you can use the seal of Sabnok, the demon Sabnok from Goetia, and make this seal a component of such a witch's bottle. This seal is used by me, but I show you how it looks. And if you need to go invisible, suppose you have some troublemaker in your life at your workplace and you don't want to be noticed, you don't want to cross paths with this person, you can make the seal of Morel, the demon Morel from Grimorium Verum, a component of such a witch's bottle, to stop the bullying and also to avoid seeing that person every day at work. So this was about witches bottles. What do I have here? This is only a part of my collection. I store my witches bottles that were made by me some 10-15 years ago. I stored them in the basement. I have a huge box stuffed with vinegar jars and witches bottles, and you can keep the witches bottles during a long time, during your whole life, to increase your protection. And if you have a troublemaker among some people, and you know that this person practices magic, I advise that for example, this witch's bottle is again such a troublemaker. And keep it, store this bottle safely in your home during your whole life, because you might think that this person will never dare to attack you, but suddenly a spell may be done upon you, and this witch's bottle, which is done to prevent this kind of magic on you, to protect you from that person, it will signal to you that a spell has been done on you by that person. And if you make, for example, the seal of Sabnok, a component of a witch's bottle against magical attacks in general, then this demon will first lead to you the people who are planning to attack you. And then when the attack comes in, he will show you that they have done something, and you will know who this person is, even if it is a stranger, because Sabnok will lead these people to you on, for example, different platforms and so on. You will know, and then you can reverse the curse. So the witches' bottles made with the aid of specific demons will benefit you greatly, and especially this demon, Sabnok. You have, if you make such a witch's bottle with the seal of Sabnok, it's a protective device plus a revenge. They might not know that you have such a bottle with the seal of Sabnok, and they will attack you, but they will become ill and remain ill until they understand that you have such a bottle with the seal of Sabnok. So this is a very, very clever strategy. And then I have, what do I have here? Yes, here I have a witch's bottle with the seal of Sabnok for animals. You can make such bottles for animals, for children, and you can store these bottles during your whole life. This is a lifelong protection. But magic with demons is not a joke, and you have to be aware of this. You have to take the evocations of Goetia 200% seriously, and the practice of the occult in general 200% seriously. First, form a working relationship with a demon, for example Sabnok, who protects you, or Andramalius, who is also who can also protect you. Form a working relationship with the demon first, and then ask the demon, for example, say like this: during my next ritual I plan to make a witch's bottle with your seal. Is this okay? Will you help me? I really need this. Will there be any bad consequences for us? And you will get the okay feeling, and then go ahead and make it. Then here I have, what is this? This is a money bottle. This is a money bottle with rice and money and coins, and the seals of Asmodai and Amaimon. And such money bottles bring lots of blessings to you, and also, of course, it's a money spell. And you can store such a bottle. First, it looks very good, it looks cute. So you can store it at home during, say, I keep them during 5 years, because the spells are running during a long period. We oftentimes, when we do a money spell, we say, I want lots of money, I want to become rich. This is my, for example, you say that this is my desire to have plenty of money. But you are right now not in that position to have lots of money. For example, you have not established your own business. So this spell, for example, if you cast it and say, I want lots of money, I want to become wealthy and so on, it may take a while for you to build up your business. So keep such a bottle during 5 years. I do so when I cast a money spell. I keep these bottles, food bottles and money bottles, during a period of 5 years. You can always place it somewhere on the shelf and let it do its job. And its job is to push you into action, to live your inspired destiny, to create your life, to create products, services, or to seek a job, and seek jobs actively until you actually get a job and establish a good footing on the labor market, and try to maintain and keep your job. So keep such bottles during 5 years. I had shown you this. What is this? This is also a food bottle with the seal of Porzon, and there's a seal of Porzon inside this bottle. It's filled with salt, sunflower seeds, brown sugar, cinnamon and rice, and some other ingredients. So Porzon also, the demon Porzon from the Goetia, he opens up an avenue of income for you. And keep such bottles during 10 years somewhere in your kitchen. And this type of magic will help you to increase your savings and to stop spending money, because wealth is not so much about getting money and spending it right away. It's about allowing the money to come to you, and at the same time save the money, so you always have money for comfortable living, at least for the basics if times are very bad for you. With basics I mean money for food, money for the rent of your home, money for clothes, and if you have some medical bills and so on. So this bottle with the seal of Porzon also contains a sharp pin, security pin, that repels away bad habits like overspending, compulsive overspending, so that at the end of the month you are broke again. This bottle will help you to save money and to establish healthy habits, healthy thinking, healthy behavior, healthy habits regarding money. Then what else do I have here? Yes, this is a witch's bottle with the seal of Demon Morail from Grimorium Viarum. This demon helps you to go invisible. He makes things invisible, and he makes you invisible. Not invisible per se or literally. No, not like this. This is not possible with spells, with the help of spells. Perhaps it's some kind of illusion magic or something like that, but I mean with the word invisibility, I mean that the chances of you crossing paths with the troublemaker will decrease rapidly. For example, if you make such a bottle with the seal of Morail and state that during a spell you word it like this, that I and that troublemaker will not see each other. I ask you, Morail, to help me, to conceal me from the eyes of that troublemaker. This could mean that Morail will send the troublemaker away on a trip, or that the troublemaker will become moved to some other place temporarily. Then I have lots of jars here. You see, here is a huge such jar. It is filled with vinegar. It contains salt and graveyard dirt and a large lemon with nails. This is a banishing spell to banish the troublemaker from your life. And such magic is done during the full moon, or when the moon is decreasing in size, or 2 days before the dark of the moon. And some types of witches' bottles also are done during these times. So this bottle then was made against a troublemaker, and actually it would be wise if I put tags on these bottles, but now I didn't do it, so I don't know against whom this is, but it's work related, because you know we all have troublemakers at work, because it's lots of competition and so on. So because this bottle contains graveyard dirt, you have to keep it away from the fridge, and also inform your relatives never to touch this bottle, never to open this bottle, because it's very malicious magic. And once somebody from my household was just curious and cleaning the shelves, and suddenly they saw such a bottle, and they thought, oh, what's this? I had no tag there. And the person opened this bottle, lifted up the lid, and came to me, what's this? I said, no, don't open this. Just put it back. And in the evening, the person became very ill, and we thought that we have to call the ambulance, because the person started to bleed, and it was horrible. We all were in a shock. So keep these bottles somewhere in the basement and hide them away, or inform your relatives not to open these bottles. Then here I have a small jar with bleach. For example, if you have debts and you are hardly pressed to pay the debt, write the amount of the debt, exact amount of money here, and do a spell with the bleach jar. Place this paper slip with the amount of money into this jar with bleach, and ask your patron demon or boon or clownek to help you to pay back the loan, and the demons will help you. As the bleach eats away the ink, you will obtain the money and you will be able to pay back the debt. So bleach can be used for debt reduction or for banishing whatever issues you have in your life. But the money will not fall from the sky. When you do such a spell, you know that there will be lots of hard work, and don't complain, because you will have to work, but you will earn this money and you will be able to pay back the debt. And this is a small jar with vinegar and a paper doll of a troublemaker. I also can find the troublemaker during the spell. For example, I draw a cage with a black marker pen around the troublemaker's doll, and then I give instructions to the doll, and I place this doll, I roll it into a scroll and then tie it with a black thread, drop it into this jar, and also add graveyard dirt and salt and vinegar, and never open this jar. These jars are 10 years old and I keep them still, and that is why I can show you these jars. I keep them with the idea in mind that you never know. If you throw away the contents of this jar, maybe the spell will be broken, and then you will have to deal with that troublemaker again and fight them. So if you have space in your home, keep these jars, vinegar jars, during 10-15 years. It's not a problem. Arrange a box in your basement and transfer all those jars there. And this jar with the bleach, you can do more spells with the same jar. Place another slip of paper to banish debt, to banish lack of money. Place it here into this jar and fill with more bleach, and you can do many spells. For example, 6 spells with the same jar, and then you keep this jar during 10 years, because you never know. What if you for example, decide to open this jar and then flush the contents into the toilet, and the results may be that the spell is broken, and then you will have a period of bad luck with money. So you never know. I just open it during the spell, place in another slip of paper, say my spell, do my spell, then cap it again, and let the bleach eat the ink, so the circumstances of my life continue to improve. Use small slips of paper, so you can use this jar during a year or so and then store it somewhere. And here is a jar with a lemon and vinegar. I told you about such jars. And here is the same. Yes, lemon and vinegar. Here is a paper doll of a troublemaker and vinegar. To restrict this troublemaker, I activate the doll and bind it with black thread and then place it inside. This jar contains also graveyard dirt. And here is a jar with the paper doll of a troublemaker and also a garlic and cemetery dirt and salt. So I keep these jars during a period of 10-15 years. I have space in the basement, so they are there doing their job. And well, when to do spells, when to create these lemon jars with the lemons. The full moon time, the full moon night is the best night to do this kind of magic. And the days of the week that suit this kind of magic are Tuesdays and I'm coming back. My camera is playing with me. It's so when you do lots of magic with demons. You know, I have mild forms of poltergeist in my home. Recently I had a box here, standing here. It was filled with essential oils and some herbs and so on. And I was sitting on the sofa, and suddenly I noticed there is some vibration in the room, and it was like this, and I thought, what's that? What's the sound? It's so irritating. So I thought perhaps the window, something. Then I came closer here, and I couldn't believe it. The box was vibrating, and it was shaking. It was a metal box. And I felt uneasy about this, and then I just lifted the box and placed it on the table again, and everything stopped. So when to do magic with these vinegar jars and the lemon, on what days? Tuesdays and Saturdays. Tuesday is the day of March if you want to really banish this troublemaker from your life. You can, for example, summon Morale. He is summoned during Tuesdays because all of the demons from Grimorium Viarum, most of the demons, come from the cliff of Gulab. So you can summon Morale and ask him to banish this troublemaker from your life so your paths don't cross, to make you invisible for their eyes. Then you can do such magic while creating such jars on Saturdays. During Saturdays, it's the day of Saturn, and you can call upon Aratron for banishing troublemakers and also for cursings and so on. Aratron will help you. And if you want to make a witch's bottle with the seal of Sabnok, then do it on a Monday, during Mondays. What else? And yes, it's important to check the Lunarium app. If you Google and type in the Lunarium, you will see a application, Lunarium. There are two. such websites. It's one of them that shows this kind of chart when the moon is transiting from one phase into another, from one zodiac sign into another. So avoid those hours when the moon is void, of course. Then what else? What did I want to say about the lunarium? Yes, and you can also click there to see what mansion of the moon you are planning to do such a spell, because oftentimes you will see that this mansion is very good for increasing your income, for this and that, for marriage issues and so on, but it is bad for this thing. But I find that the Picatrix, the description of these lunar mansions in the Picatrix is more exact. So if you want to fine-tune your magic with regard to astrology so that the planets are in the right positions, the moon is in a stable sign, you have to read a little bit about Picatrix magic. And then also it's important to take into consideration such factors like when planets are in retrograde. For example, if you plan to do such magic and you want to call upon Aratron, be sure that Saturn, the planet Saturn, is not in its retrograde, because this could have a weakening effect on your magic. Then, for example, if you see Saturn is in retrograde, what should I do? Oh, maybe I will do magic to create such a jar, but I will call upon Belial on Sunday. And then you check the lunarium and everything, all this stuff, astrological stuff, and you come to a conclusion that yes, this is the most powerful moment. I will do the spell now. And you can also use onion instead of a lime, because this lime will make all the efforts that the troublemaker is making to how do I say it in English? I am so used to Swedish. Let me formulate. The troublemaker will fail to make your life sour. They will experience failure if you use a lime. But if you use an onion, the onions bring tears with them. They will be disappointed to such a degree that they will cry over their failures. I read about the Voodoo, the famous Voodoo priestess, Marie. How do you pronounce her name? Marie Laveau, or it's French, a French name. I read in one book that she used an onion to banish a troublemaker from her house and to cause the troublemaker to cry. So I got inspired to use a large onion to make the troublemaker experience such failures to harm me that they will cry due to the disappointment. So this is it, and you store these jars somewhere in some distant place in the basement, and also tell your relatives never to open such jars and bottles, because you might have serious consequences, health issues and so on. And especially keep these jars away from children. Children should not open these jars, and they should not, it looks quite beautiful, you know, children are very curious, but it's dangerous. So hide these jars away from children. And this is it. This was the promised discussion about witch bottles and vinegar jars. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. I see you again next time. Bye.